Geshe-la, His Holiness the Dalai Lama asked us to record your experiences so that we can share your memories with many generations of Tibetans, the Chinese, and the rest of the world. Your memories will help us to document the true history, culture, and beliefs of the Tibetan people. Do you give your permission for the Tibet Oral History Project to use this interview?
Ngazui konglo te tsugi mizi nyamnyong lugyu jiorwa and dunzu daju shugu yorel ane lugyu dunzu ane pemi mira mango thang gyari and zambuling mimang la tya gi chedu re lugyu dunzu na ne phegi gerap dingoma khari yime and phegi rishu and hakpa to yiche khari yime dunzu ane khodu yungres ane tharing tiwa chile nangyo di phegi ngagyun gerap legul gi Yes.
Thank you for offering to share your story with us. During this interview, if you wish to take a break or stop at any time, please let me know. If you do not wish to answer a question or talk about something, please let me know.
Tharinde lugyu sunga phebde tujiche tiwa chile nang bekap la gisla ka goya dinde duna jam shaya sha gugu duna ani gisla sumro na yan tiwa khashe la len kyundu mena and le ma kyune digiore okay.
We are honored to record your story and appreciate your participation in this project.
Tharinde gisla phene lugyu sunga dilani kabu chungus
Can you please tell us how old you are and where you were born, Geshe-la?
Geshe-la konglo khazwe ina.
Lo jes tambay.
Ane Geshe-la ge truyu de ming kharirel.
Khyakta.
I'm 80 years old and I was born in Khyakta.
And how many people were in your family?
Khyakta.
Khyakta. And Geshe-la ge nalaya Geshe-la konglo chunchu imbe kablaya nangmi khazwe siyuna.
Nangmi
There were 7 to 8 family members.
And where were you in the order of children that were born?
And Geshe-la nalaya tha pugu nane Geshe-la tha gemba dinga chunga khagi nalayina. The oldest. I'm the oldest.
The oldest. And for a living, what did your family do to earn a livelihood?
Ne Geshe-la gi nangmi chu di kablaya chowa khandis ki gi yuna.
Rogwe te chore. Rogle.
No so. We were nomads.
And when you were nomads, were you only dealing with herding animals, or were you also engaged in accumulating salt or goods or anything like that?
Geshe-la number 2 dropa rawal. Di kablaya ta semjingi chipo gi chale nangi do chi cha da duga pheya ta chi chong da bu
semjingi te chigre cha lenga dogre cha par changla cha lenga dogre ten tu khiyung je yang ndawa khayi son pa ula hingba yosala cha chongga dogre en donyor.
Yes, besides animals, we went to the north to gather salt, and the salt was taken to U, the region of U, where we sold them to the farmers and bought grains in return.
Can you describe the process of how you gathered the salt? Because salt is very heavy, and how did you transport it?
Cha lenga la phege yorwa changla ta cha chu dudu kane ani dudu chale di khande snam
ale cha lenga dudu dan ndawa ni se gorgre ene cha de thangbo chu ji la ya cho ji la ya ding la chema yorwa o tin ni hi cha yore ene ti yak ko sing sung tende ki je and Mihige Chudemia, that Chemanagi Tayora, the going on to look then to chill down the Pungshaur.
So the salt gathering process at the north took two months, and the salt was found in the lake like a sand. And so 4 men would enter the water with a piece of yak leather, and then the men loaded the salt into the piece of yak leather, and it was brought out from the water and piled up.
And what? Piled up.
Piled into a heap.
2 months. And how many 4 men did the gathering? How many animals were there to transport? And how many bags of salt did you carry to you?
Kishla, ta amishigi ta yagi pakpajikala to Tatuni Pagati Shagdua.
No, Pungshagur. Oh, Shakutik Sakamjan Sagre.
Chikla.
Oh, Shakutik Sakamjan Sagre.
And it did and that's how they tajel a simching ganglia work.
And the Pigo Kiore, Miria Yang Sumjusong as a tegre.
Yagi gangla gungur,
Red.
Pegon la look, and Yagang la gun.
Yagang la Kiji.
So the salt was left there and it dried overnight. And then there would be bags in which the salt was packed and then loaded onto yaks, and each man would drive around 35 yaks.
And how many men were there, Geshe?
다 미치기 야 숨주 송아스 대기로와 다 미카즈에서 여러 파게리야.
다 티로니 미 예, 고, 주, 든데, 그래. 양 방, 세디전에, 이제 든데, 룽바적네, 든데전에, 양 룽바적네, 현바적네, 양 든데지, 든 그래.
파게 사자 찍발이야.
그래.
So from one village there would be 8, 9, or 10 men, while from another village a same number of men would arrive there to gather salt.
So, was there like a month or a day in the month when days in the month when many people would gather? And what season was that? People were coming from all different villages in the different caravans, and then all gather at the same time to help. What season was that?
Kisla lungba mentane mitsama pigelia tsalenga zomgi yorwa. tsalenga la zomsa sajaji yorwa.
zomsa ya saja 저기 되게 말해. 참 조세리 차차세 소지 yorwala. 어디 망보 요래.
ane ta chomangbo yosalji yorwa.
그래.
dilaya jik lojigina ya dawachigina ya nima thangadaji yona tsalenga joya de 규수다지 연아 당한주인의 도와 직전도 따위는
제가를 정도래 이어갈 정도래 군간도 두고 말이야 남산산.
So it wasn't just one salt pan, there were many salt lakes, and normally we went once in the autumn time and once during summer season, but winter was too cold.
Oh, it took 2 months to get there from your land. So, was the journey difficult? Was it over many mountains or just lots of distance?
Kisla ta chalenga dubi kane dawani korbi orsungwa. Ta dawani koyadi lamga kale khakbu yenza ina ya tha ringbu ina.
탁 ring보래. lam가도 내보래 빼 내보래.
lamkata yomarwa ta ine debuyore.
내보여래.
So it was the distance because the road was good.
And when you said you took them to you, what country is that or what area is that?
Gisla ani ulaya kidugu yor song ba cha.
Yeah, ula.
Uli kaba chore gisla.
Uli ngandu ya honub chore. 장게 honub chore. Hingba yor wala. Hingba was a pakin over. Hingba la tha gogo yor ngandola dru gogo te duda tha jewa jabgare.
So is the region that is that lies in the southwest of our village, and we took the salt to the farmers because the farmers required salt while we required grain, so they were bartered.
And rang ki say ma nganzo ul riva. Nganzo de chang de chi ma rang re. Ale lungba de mangbo yorta. Pembo se arabo loha se arabo pembo se de te nyigri loha se tagringri. And tinde hingba ya tang la yori khasaka yori la. Re nganzo de ya tangbo pa jo de tangbo lhasa tangbo pa jabne palang se jo de ru. Palang. Dejen rung said. Dejen rung. Oh. Pembo pa jamneri. Local lemgimaril. Pembo da local parut.
So, U actually means central part. So, our region also comes under the central part. But the farmers lived in villages like Penpol, Hoka, Zhang. However, we took our salt to be bartered at Balung.
Balung. And how many, like an average family, how many sacks of salt would they use, say, a year? And what did they use them for? What was the salt needed for in everyday life? All the reasons you can think of.
Nangmi chikla lo chikna la rwa cha regu khajo ji pheju tangi yuna
cha regu tiri mar cha thobo chok chaju kilo sine ta kilo sumju se mero tinde de pego re thobo ya chigre ani yak re tinde ni kigre
미산치기 로직나라 도부든지 가주지 배주
빼는 간조 라버지는 미산 링 지그래 봐 도부 니슈 장 숨주 뒤에면 당그래
알레 키니 두고르와
그래래
알레 아니 차 배주 가리가리라 당기래 있으라
차가 루제부래
말이 지단이 가지고 미장지기 차지 요르와 차디 가리가리 지기래 낭직나라
나라도 또제라 차대 제르와 팀마도 차동 루니야 키두래
So the salt was packed in bags, each weighing about 30 kilograms, and there were 2 such bags loaded onto a yak. And we were a middle-class family, and my family bartered about 25 to 30 such bags of salt in a year. And besides, bartering the salt, was a little quantity of salt would be used in food.
And were there other, when people traded the salt for grains, the people that bought the salt or used the salt, what did they use it for besides seasoning food? Was there any other uses?
신바 쪽에 산유로와 gəl라나서 다 쪽배자네. 아니 파 두데기로와. 다 산유에 신바 지요로와. 거기 차디 딱 칼라라 루야 마신 신바 가르라 배주 단계요나.
콘도 티치그레사. 코란서 다 칼라나는 찍자그러와. 아니 되네 이해가. 신바 체 들어 있는 돌 때에서. 그 돌 때에서 다 칼라라 루야 마신 신바 가르라 배주 단계요나. 신바 체 들어 있는 돌 때에서. 그 돌 때에서 다 칼라라 루야 마신 신바 가르라 배주 단계요나. 신바 체 들어 있는 돌 때에서. 그 돌 때에서 다 칼라라 루야 마신 신바 가르라 배주 단계요나. Zol. And young Metanche to do in a pull of Rubayore. Rubasi do drop. Or to do yak to do the Teresa.
So I heard that besides using salt as seasoning for food, the farmers during summer, they fed the salt to their zo and their yaks.
What was the reason for that? Do you know?
And zoda ya donzula tsate ya karina gyumzenda uchi.
The Nandu yak to do Samaki Motayo Marwa. And Yamaki go to Kalika for the Yala Gaten Japji Tiganki Turel. And I am doing you want to do Padel Saki and Tudel and do Tata Yakati to Chadon and Kevin Key Gray.
Teaching Chero Gisla. Ta Shimba Kashigi Sasuzu Zoda Yagla Tigi Yorwa. The Karchin Tigi and Yada Zola.
What he multiple Yada Zoto Pay Tad Pan Tarimburova. And Yagdan Zoto Tagabo Hubjot. And he Sada Yan Carter Satin and Hemo Yakalengre. And a young Lumba Todiore. Total Putos Jager. Putos and Tindang under the higher beams as Mide. Oh, Tiresha. Timothy Barrero.
So the yaks and zos were fed with salt because the farmers lived very far away from the salt pans, and the yaks and zos loved salt very much. And when they were fed with salt, they became healthier. And there was also a lake in our region from which you could mine Bitho. And it's a substance very much similar to what we use to wash utensils with here.
Ah, yes. And say the Tibetan name of that again?
Gisla tanda hayan triya dabuji handa chone tya yor sungin ba.
Beams is Iva.
Now the pyoge na kare lagire dila.
Puto, Mantu Puto.
Bitho.
Oh.
Yeah, it's called Bitho.
Is there an English translation for that? Bitho? Is it like cleanser or borax?
Puto Lavgare Nandu Tulo to Achir.
The chala karpo lai de marwa.
Marimare.
No, it's not borax.
Okay.
No.
So let's continue. Geshe-la, did you actually go on these journeys to gather salt yourself? And how old were you when you started to go, if you did go?
Geshe-la ane nangi chalenga drudu gane ane Geshe-la nyamdo pe nyu yodo.
Nando Manu Tarimure. Not the Migimba Maton Rotu Mare.
No, I haven't been because it's very far away and only the adults can make the journey.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And when the others came back from the journey, what kinds of things did they bring with them that the family needed? Can you name what they brought?
You mean after bartering the
After
salt?
bartering. Mm-hmm. What did they get for bartering?
Ta nangmitsogi cha duni ma kiyon ane mageleya ta shingbaleya jibu gyagirwa.
Really?
Jibu gyamni ta ya lo yongurwa ya pene.
Really?
Ane ya ganla khunsugi kare jala kiyon gure.
Ya gana mangche dure aza. Durwa. Dure. Ta ti dunyo ya cha chik tegiri tene shada mar tegiri.
So mainly it was just grains that they brought, and for the grains, it wasn't just salt, but we also gave meat and butter.
다 부족세대 양 차능이 도복하지 차 도복하지 오늘 루 도복하지 라고 말해 부족 공충거리 때.
공충아.
부족 뭐 말이지? 부족 도니요나 말해 루 도니요나 부족 도복숨 때.
So the substance called Bitho is not as expensive as salt. So in order to exchange grains and Bitho, for 2 bags of grain, you would have to give 3 bags of Bitho.
Okay. Now,
양 Bitho 랜디 수 랜당 카레야 차던데 말이야.
In
부도 대 군가마도 양을 말이 군가 초착과 사그래와 얘는 남 탐문 작대 초 축근가 착과 착선 대경은 강도 땅에 안에 니마카지 손에 대경가 부도 작로.
So gathering of Bitho is different from gathering salt, because you gather Bitho during the cold season, during winter when the lake freezes, and on the frozen lake when it snows, snowed a little bit, then whatever forms on the frozen lake, that is the Bitho.
And change. 싱 레벨 텐데로 약보사 싱 레벨 텐데게 엔 콜 유아가르진 착박하는 독수 잡고 잡지 독수 뽕 에네 배고키제 로고 에네 강소 가잡 에네 킹거리 부동안도 니보레 레라보레 칼레 요마레 셔라.
So gathering Bitho isn't very difficult, and it was also found very close to our village. You took a wooden board and then you gathered in the Bitho and then packed it in bags.
Did it have any taste?
Kala seveyina dilaya tuada jiore.
Tuad seyo mare. Chal inji min Bitho jagriya. Bitho majamne ke chal khwa thongu mare. Bitho te mabu jabda marchan sagre. Chal khwa thongyare. Chal jagre.
So it's tasteless, and normally it is used in tea to bring out the color of tea. So the more Bitho you add, the redder the tea becomes.
Okay. Now, when you were growing up, say till you were 16, was there enough food in your family for your family to eat, and for the village that you lived in? Were people healthy, and was there enough food, or were there problems with nutrition and health?
Kishla konglo chuchu pado susu lungba shuruwa. Ta lungba shube kabla ruwa. Lungba nanglo la. Ta susu nangmi nangya. Ane saya thongya dozo dangba yona miso la ya.
Dangba yo. Dangya kare sene. Dangya kare dangwa thone. Rudi dangwa re. Rudi thakring borwa. Ane rokba sonda shada 쇼마 시부통 사이리 통그래. 그러네 소소 semjene 통그러 와라. 누리 당바고래. 단 나도 롱바다 밤에서 껴 가신 누 이어가서 본 당마래.
Yes, there was enough to eat, And mainly, it was grains that you had to have, proper stock. Because whereas being a nomad, you had enough of meat, curd, and milk from your animals. And there were instances of poor families in our village when they did not have enough grains during summertime.
Yeah. Geshe-la, what kind of a boy were you? Were you very active or quiet or studious? What kind of a child or young teenager were you?
Geshe-la puchunju jimbe kabla roa.
La.
Geshe-la puchunju jimbe kabla roa. And di kabla ya ani geshe-la khande dabu jiona jik tsubu da jiyo ina ya lobjong ra nang denge jiyo.
Lobjong sa chiya yo maringa. Rokbe ngaro do pebe sekdo pi yaru sekre. Tinde tsawa sin look da tinde tsore. Tinde rela.
There was no learning when I was a boy. Being nomads, you had the responsibility of herding calves and the sheep.
And did you have time for any kind of play or, activities that children like?
Geshe-la, look so dinde nang warwa. Ine ya susu pugu yimbe chane tsemu tsiya dan dinde kipki tangya dabu dinde gi tuzu ragi yodo.
Toto ragi. Yang chung kanane sok thoan ro marta temo khode chamde.
Yes, one did find time. Whereas when you were very small, you could play the whole day. You had no responsibilities.
And did you stay on with your family as a nomad your whole life, or did you leave at some point?
Da Geshe-la-gi susu nangmi nyamdo doksa la rang shu dere yang di jeli ya saja shenbaji la pe yodo Geshe-la.
Ngandu dropati gunga khatang warwa ma jungla nama se ma rore o tinde to sundonya
Khabar phege yores
nama se na se yang sa thakpo rinbo chiorla tinde yo ma jung sa masala khatang du o tinde rore.
So for the nomads, when it started to snow during winter time, then we went lower down where the grass was long, and it was much into the plains that we moved.
Did you want to be a nomad your whole life?
And Geshe-la aneta mitsi kanza doparan nang ni shuya ge chashi rwel.
Rela.
Right. If I hadn't become a monk, I would have remained a nomad.
But did you want to be a monk, or did you want to stay a nomad?
Geshe-la chungdu kane rwala. Geshe-la ane chaba nangya gi deba chungyu do ya dopara nang ni shugo samyu do.
Chaba chego samde. He ngan nang ya pugu chehu chi nang pu ngamato yomare. Nye ame pava to chaba tang me la gore. Ngare utu cheje chaba chembele.
So yes, I wish to become a monk, and actually I was the oldest son and the only son of the family, and my maternal grandfather was not willing to let me go, but it was I who insisted that I want to.
And Geshe-la, why did you want to become a monk?
And Geshe-la gi tha chabanangi in songrwa, and the Geshe-la gi di deba di kharishani deba di chungi.
Ale, re te ngandu nungba ne shangbo tinde chaba mangbo yore. Shangbo tinde. And to yudi tane chaba cheya doba shuk che chung.
So in my village, there were many of my maternal uncles who had become monks, and that's why I wished to become a monk too.
And before you became a monk, what was your idea about what monkhood was like?
Gisla tangbo chaba masu gingon la rwa. En gisla gi thule ya chaba syoba ina khande de jik yores thula gong yuna.
Tan shangbo to chaba che ene gunga yerka tam se lo ngure. Ani kondolo te ne chaba doba changsonga.
So my maternal uncles who were monks, they returned home during summer season, and looking at them, it gave me the idea that I must become a monk.
And so what happened then?
Any kare chungre gisla.
La.
Any kare chungre.
Kare.
And ta gisla gita shang la dunzu nang la phedu kane any gisla gita kunzu la sini ngarangi chaba chini thogudu samroa gisla.
Ore.
Any DJ la any kare na re.
Enanga chaba chigin salam ne enanga chaba tangre.
Oh, so because I insisted, they let me become a monk.
And where did you go, Geshe-la?
Gisla chaba nangal kawa peyuna.
Serala.
To Sera Monastery.
And who took care of you and guided you when you went to Sera Monastery?
Gisla Sera gomba la pep sanirwa. Any pagelia, any gisla leya, any chik ropa nange do su chungyuna.
Ta rokon sene pike yang Ashanti Sera Gombe Nana, Ta Ashan Kashi Sumshi Yorwa, Tichik Ne Gayen Cherry.
Serala. From the 3 or 4 maternal uncles that I had, one of them became my teacher at Sera Monastery.
I see. And let's see, you were age 16 when that happened, and that would have been in 1950. So what was life like in Sera Monastery in the 1950s?
Gisla Sera Gombala Tabananga Pedugane Chikdong Gupyangab Chu Tamba Chen Konglo Chudu in Sare. Gisla. Any D Kablia Sera Gombe Nalia, any candidate which dog Gisla.
Sera Gombe Nala Taba Mambuche, any Tom Rodit and Tol Tajamanga Duwala. What Tajamanga to Rudi Taba Mangudu. Any Shora together, tell it, Nadusarvan Doya Medo. Young the Pega Guru Garoche and Mado. Pega Guru Garoche and Choras and Doyado. And she ne Choras in Zira said, Hinel Yungutu, Tian and Ziramado.
So at Sera Monastery, when there were prayer assemblies, there were many monks. And there was a gathering called Chera, but new monks were not allowed to take part in it, because if you were to take part in the Chera, you would have learned a little of the scriptures.
I see. So what did the new monks do if they were not learning the scriptures?
And Tabasaba Dunzugi Tango Leptukan, Peja, that Chera do Chogi Omara, Marwa, and the did you can Peja King Yomarwa, and the Karinaya go to Gugu.
And the Peza Jans de Ore. Peza Simia the Jana Chigure.
Jangya, any lawless Simia,
really.
And Jangya did Niga.
Oh, the Jaya good. Pesa Dongurwala. Doya Tela.
Thangbo Doya.
Huh?
So when you joined as a new monk, you had to start with memorizing the scriptures and then learning it.
Remember, and you said there were no schools in your village, so if you joined as a monk, you just began memorizing. Did you ever learn to write or read?
Gislagi tongsep nang la lapta yomarwa lupta.
Yomare.
Ani this situ gane ta gisla thangbo phagela ser komba phedu gane ani ta chike ngakto la simya mai ba chik phui loya dan
loya
jang na yona. Chia ge jang na Yeah, exactly. There were no schools in the village, and once I joined the monastery, I learned to read and write.
Oh, what kind of a student were you, Geshe-la? What did things come easily? Did you have to work hard? In your class, were you in the middle, at the top? Where were you?
Ta gisla page gomba la phene tha shine jongdar chia ta gosu yorwala. Gisla lukchu khande ta buchre gisla chichik jinde na ne khe thang re dinga thang ina.
Dinga ji.
Los. Ani gisla lukcho nang du kane jongdar nang du kane chik kule khabu shibu chunggu yona chigyan lel habu ngone chik kendo yungu yona.
Ta Gag Shara Kali Khabu Kinde Marele. Pesa chicks in Mambo Simberwa. Any Sanakuna Pesa Kyot they did any Miganga Nitane Tando Pesa Kyoria Sargamari. Miganga jumping in Yen, jumping into Tando Pesa Kyoria Sargum.
Kyoria sungu ta chik ngakto simya.
Ngakto simtaritan and Pesamati Nagun Chorgoro Simshabati.
So I was middle class student, and I did not find the studies very difficult, and I used to memorize a lot. And in the night time when everybody was sleeping, I would be chanting the scriptures what I had memorized in the dark.
You sound like you were a very dedicated student with a lot of ardor for the scriptures.
Gisla ta konda chen dindele ani chik chabe tanda kyor nang ni shugudwa isidu gani gisla lobtu ya ko shiuji insarwa ani chik chabe siya la ya deba yunge.
That Dova Yakoyore.
Yes, I had a great wish to study the scriptures.
Then Travakachi, Tenkan Johnny, Namala Party Johnny Maboyore. Another non Mala Party Tamachini Matokor Manu.
So,
and Tevachonga of the Namgar of Tindil Jolguri Tavatas.
Yes, there were some monks, who would, continue to recite the mantras the whole night until it was, daylight of the next day. And I have, done this once or twice. And usually the monks do this on the 15th day or the 30th day of the lunar month.
And were there what happened in your monastery in the 50s besides you were studying the scriptures and learning to read and write? Were there any other changes or things going on in the monastery during the 1950s that you were aware of inside or outside the monastery?
Gisla gombe na le ya ta chigdong gupkya ngap chu la pherwal ngap chigdong gupkya ngap chu ta yang yuen dwa la rwa gisla any gombe na lo ineri chilo ineri chik any thugyu da manjar begi any gyuwa dinde khari khari ching yona gombe na le imbe ineri gombe chilo le imbe ineri gisla ge chik 가리가리 see yona that duwa
Tide shira yuro so ha koma sala. Kore pesa jangni jang te.
I did not realize any great changes in the monastery because I was concentrating on studying my scriptures.
And then when did things begin to change that you had to notice?
Ta di kabla ta thangboda gisla na ba zo ta susu gi chabe sini shugu yorwa. Ani jele ya ani gywa ta chik susu gi ta ha khoya gi gywa de khari chungina. Gombe na la ta gywa.
Ta gombe na la ta jirwa se shira dokumento koran luksu chekran cha de ya.
So in the monastery, things carried on as was the tradition, and there wasn't much change.
So did you stay in the monastery your whole, did you ever leave the monastery in Lhasa and Sera?
Ani kishla ta di kablaya Lhasa la ta Sera Gombe na shu yorwa. Tan di jila ani Sera Gombe shani pe goya dinde chung yorwa.
Re. Ani ta ngapchu khawa ine tinde chale ine jamle so jam thangbo yimdi kondo top tempo skemmedu manga kandang reja laksa sei kemmedu ani jema logic chindi ani ngamo te lepso ani kondo ngamo ga chala ma ki udo ani kondo jammangbo cha ani mota ngamo ga jib chungchung tende torte ani lesaleb di dig chala or se yaman ro digdo.
Yes, it was in somewhere in the 50s that the Chinese appeared. Initially, when they appeared, they did not look powerful. They were on foot, and they were not armed. They didn't have much arms. And later, after 1 year or so, they arrived on camels. And at that time, they had many things loaded on the camels. And they also had small jeeps that were, dismantled, and then they had these vehicles assembled in Lhasa.
Now, what did when the Chinese were coming like that on camels and some on foot and then later jeeps? Did you see any of this with your own eyes? Can you describe what you saw?
탱마직 콘조 콤바게니 용레 야디 젤야 콘종 아모테니레 제도와 기시다 엔 기시라 랑기 돈조 시여나
통서도 되게 통서
간데도스도 기시라 직대시 시켜다 콘조 용들
그 뭔가 부구조로 해다리 막면다도가 부구조로 로충충 해다리자 아니 미 gemba 타루토로도 Any Jema Namo Teji Induda, any me game by the Poo the Monk doesn't matter.
Yes, I saw it myself. They were soldiers and they seemed very young, almost, like children. And there were very few adults then. And later, when they came driving the camels, there were many young people and there were many old ones too. Adults too.
What did you think in your head, and what did you feel in your heart when you saw these strangers coming into your land?
Ta Ta gishlagi gyami dunju ta sosu lungbe na la leba de si yorwa. Ta de si du gane gishlagi thugla rwa. Ta chi gi midinje nganju lungba la ya ji kharichini lepki yore dinde dawas gong yo na.
Da mi gemba to labgudo. Gyami to yimbu tane ene ale yala yaboje kamba jab sajasim de ma ene mag jagbude sekdo.
The older people said, first the Chinese, they come, they, grab our land, they build houses, and later they are bound to attack us.
Did you have any feelings when you saw the Chinese?
Gisla ramaya chikami sidu gane choga dinde khari chungu na.
So Tam Yami Tindese Mongole Chidutani Jema Lamga Soje Tambo Tagari da Tigari Tinde any Shin Kongo Nani Shin Lhasa Kimudo Kambajaya.
So then the Chinese constructed roads, and they had carts that were pulled by horses and mules, and they cut wood in Kongpo region and transported them to Lhasa for construction of houses.
And when did your life change in the monastery? Did it just continue to go on, or was there any event or circumstances that changed?
Gisla di kableya tha gombe na shu yorwa. Ani gombe na la tha chik gyua da chi khatu chingre tha shu ma pheya chayagi.
Ale thi jema mak jamne chabre. Mak jamne ani Jami 30 shibu chay chate Jami tanda nganzu chong rosas yorwa ndu nyosachi. Nga teya ndoyimbe goma chekla motor lori chambo tindi cheke ngabju tukchu chiles. Sangman lo lan shugu merjo tak desha. Merjo teya do.
So the change took place after the attack, and the Chinese were very well prepared. I remember that I had once been to the village where we used to get our grains, and there one night I saw about 50 to 60 trucks, and all these trucks were pulling artilleries.
How close was that village to Lhasa?
Ta gisla thanda tro nyoga phesagi chongsip jiorwa
Ore.
deleya ta chigami gadi na mote na liya anda merkyo te ti donge dinde sirwa
Ore.
thanda dunyo sa chongsip dil Lhasa ne tha ringlu re.
Lhasa ne nima chiklep tere.
It's a day's journey from Lhasa.
Really? And were you going there for a special reason?
Gisla phage pheya di gyumje mixe gi gyumje kharina.
La.
Gisla thanda de chongsip de le pheya gi gyumje kharina.
Ngandu gombola gombe na saya ndugorwa o di nyoga de.
So I had been to that village to procure grains for the monastery.
When you saw that Geshe-la, were you worried about why they had artillery, and did you come back and tell anybody what you saw?
Ta kisla phageleya ta gyami gi ta mangmi gi thanda de chala dinde mangbu siorwa me yo dinde ta dinde sidu gane any kisla thula chik ta thukde raw chung ne ya chu gomba na le ya shemba la sung yo na
Lamnyong.
gisla thukje chungswe.
Semre revo chung ta yaga chekde chesa mare tres.
Yes, I was worried and I thought nothing good is going to happen, and I told other people.
And what was their response? And who did you tell?
Gisla dinde sikyo di chu gomba nalia tabasul sungbe.
Tati tabat genyo mel tinde ko chindo mendu labdegre.
Ane kunzu gita dinde tödü gane kari gongyena.
Kunzu ta kari gongyena ta peche ta yaga chig mari sam giro.
So at that time, many monks in the monastery used to talk about these things, and I'm sure everyone thought that nothing good was going to happen.
So tell us what does happen to you. I'd like to hear, this significant changes in Lhasa from through your own eyes, from your own experiences. What did you see? What did you hear that happened with all this artillery, for instance?
Di jela gisla gi rangirwa gisla rangi chengi khari khari e chungba si yona
Ta ti yugor ane mag jabot tonso
kawala gisla
serala sesala
sera tha hasaniga
sera lhasa
hasala
thangbo lhasa jabre
in jela sera chungba. So then I witnessed the attack. First, it was Lhasa that was attacked, and later Sera Monastery.
And what did you do?
And di kabla ani kisla gi khana ina.
Ane Yamba that ke yamarta twa mitinde yaman ro yor that so yamdo te dro and they
Kawa pains. Gombe nang le shu.
Gombe nang.
Ani kisla gombe nang la khazu pa do shu re ta handa Lhasa la ma kyap sa jela.
Lhasa la tenjek la mag jab so ti sangi ti nigang gombe na de ti gonda de ene troyong de.
So there was nothing to do. I was in the monastery, and the attack on Lhasa took place during the night, and I remained in the monastery the next day, and then in the night we fled.
How many people were in the group you fled with?
Kisla thwe phedu kane ene nyamdo rokpa manglo yona.
Nyamdo dandang Lhasa gomba ne do ngare gens yo ahyang se yorwa ngani che ene hemba
So when I fled from the monastery, I was with my teacher, who is my maternal uncle, and I don't think there was anybody else with us.
Ane gomba dethuya kore medu major chabdi dane khasakani jabu.
So we could no longer remain in the monastery because there was shelling, from different directions.
Can you tell us something about the journey with you that you took with your uncle and escaping from Tibet? How was it? How was it difficult? How long did it take?
Gisla tanda kyala nyamdo thwe pherwa. Thwe phedu gane the lamga nalaya tha chik kange khandes chungyo khajis chungyo na khandes.
Ta tene par dodi ko Tambada, Saya to Kia, Gangi Hira Majum. That Saya to Dogdi Kiurua, Timado. And a Pembo Nali did an number of young, number of Nani, Menda Mawajabs. Menda Jab, Bam Futures.
Pembola. So when we escaped, we took some tsamba, and the journey wasn't very difficult, except that you had to carry your provisions. And then we reached Pempo, and at Pempo, planes flew overhead, and they fired, and they also dropped bombs.
Did you see any people wounded or killed from those bombs?
Ani kisla namdu nane bomb you dinde ani menda gyap cherwa ani kisla ge ani mi ta me bata buda se bata budinde siswe
Oh, dinde thongma.
No, did not see.
Okay. So, is there anything? So, where did you when you got to India? Where did you go? You went to Pempo, and then where? What happened next?
Ta kisla thangbu Pempo jorwa company pha thwe phene en Pempo ne ani dijela ta khaba thwe phere khande nangre.
Oh, dine Pembo ne reading lesson.
Los.
Reading Rimbuchi Yundi or Tayang under Nepovadore, Pola Dore. And reading Nimakashi de Antony Chanapal Lord, that Chan wrote that.
Ene ne khawa jorina kisla.
And reading ne Chanadoi. Fail.
So from Pempo, I went to Reading, and the teacher of the Reading Rinpoche was a relative of mine. And then from Reading, I went to Chang, my village.
Ah, wasn't that back in Tibet?
Yeah.
Okay, from Pempo.
Lhasa to north.
Okay.
To the village.
Oh, you went back to your village.
Right.
Okay. And what was your village like when you got there?
Kisla ya ani changla susu lungbal peberwa. And dikabla ani khande dawisto lungbe nala khare dwe.
Changla dedi changla ke kondo ha ko yomarwa. Namji rabosi reya. Tinde dina daotik ti simaji dikla ngandu lungbe pombo yorwa. Tudo pa ndamna ke tanso.
Dam.
And pombo to chile ta magdu gon lev deve trafati gede ngonjor trisho sigisa. Ngonjor kudu jamitala. Ti kerang tu tanda yung na nyokra me ke kondu ngonjor chiko che en taga isi jema mayung ke chene jema kondu lakpa matepse rosa yo maris. Ene kale kako yungure siksa.
So when I returned to my village, they had no knowledge of what had occurred in Lhasa, and everything was as usual. And a month or so later, the leaders of our village were called to Dam, and when the leaders returned, they brought the message from the Chinese saying that all the monks who had returned home were to be brought before the Chinese, and nothing would happen if we, appeared before the Chinese at that time. But if we didn't, there was nowhere for us to go.
And so what happened, Geshe-la?
Ene Geshe-la khari chungre di jela.
Ane ando pa ngojo dogin se chimbe name.
Jamizala.
Oh, any chindi Jamitala sanging does the legu in the Tarita and the Toyon, Jamita machine.
So we planned that we would go to the Chinese, but that very day we fled.
Why did you flee instead of going to the Chinese?
Gisla Anita Gamizalia Pea Che and Ma Peveche and Turpedua. Carichin Ture.
So the Jamita Donata, the Gotangri something to.
So we thought that, going to the Chinese would cause us suffering. So that's why we fled.
And where did you go?
And the Gisla, then car pebe, cover trip pebe.
And the Tinepati Chana Ya Yumre. Chana Yumi.
The Chane such a cajole to pay.
Chana Yang Ropa Turdo Yimitinde Mamutuk. And the continuing say that I'll do.
Such a caval to trip pebe.
Such a Chana part and Dore. Tatine Ashan Yorwa, what at the Tindis Drone, Yoramus in Jesa Maris, and told me the 2 young.
Pula.
Oh, full Mari to Jahachol Cottage young. Tambo
Tambo Chang Chola trip edugane, Gagal so trip marwa. Tando Changlaya trip edigure.
Tando Chang Ropa Chang to Yama Kondo Ropa Yosari, or to do Tugando Insari. And then Ashanti Tindis Done Yaramus in Jesa Maris. Tambo Yaramus in Jay Verewachi in Sene and Yadu sing and to Yai Yuri.
Dagachola. So first we fled northwards, and there were many people fleeing together, and so my maternal uncle said, if we keep fleeing northwards, then we would never see His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And so he said, that it was best for us to flee to India, and that's what we did.
And did you get to see the Dalai Lama?
Yes.
How long after you escaped in 1959, and you were 25, and so how old were you when you saw the Dalai Lama?
Gela number so trip edugane chikdong gubyangap ju ngagula trip herwel. This edugane gela khonlo ni senga redwa.
Oh, injure.
Ani di chela ani kyamgur mbuche and khaduz jeswe.
Pesati gunga je insare.
Kavalo.
Dharamsala.
So I think it was that winter in Dharamsala that I saw His Holiness.
And Geshe-la, maybe just before we wrap up, you can tell me, did you continue to stay in the monastery? And where did you continue to be a monk?
Ta gyaga lungbe na la pherwa gyanla. Ani di jela ani gisla ani khawa shure. Gomba khawa lu shuya jena. Gyaga lungba na la phe chabe jela.
Gyaga lungbe na la le sane thene dharamsala lo chik se devi jere. Thene ma Buxar dore.
No, Buxar la kare nangena.
Buxar la yang ta gombe pesu tanyi tu theduwa.
So
the gelo sacha nyingma gaget thabandu.
So after reaching India, I was a year in Dharamsala and then went to Buxar. And in Buxar, there were monks of Giluk sect, Sakya, Nyingma, and all the students who were engaged in studying were there, studying the scriptures were there. Any kisla? And Buxar la any chabi scene issue any kana.
Real. Didn't de masar yung
My soul apparent. So from Buxar, then I came to here in Mysore.
Mysore?
Yeah. Bailakupi sunguyorwa. Right, Bailakupi.
Okay, good. So, Geshe-la, what kinds of prayers do you have or wishes do you have for the Tibetan people?
Ane Geshe-la tanda pemi choyora pemi cholaya tachike melam jabu kare kyunguyona. Pemi tendala ngaras pebe tendala.
Ale. Malam ta 마음번에 시진념 좀 사용하셔서는 마음 되고요.
시진념 좀 쓰나가.
전에 볼에 대대니 메요로와 응도데 텐저로다 념좀 신의 대야 영하셨어요.
So I pray that those people, Tibetan people who are left in Tibet and those who have come into exile can live together in the future.
Thank you, Geshe-la. That's a very, very good and very important prayer. And I want to thank you for sharing your story with us.
Ani Geshe-la melam pe masi ya kyung du sra en thari nganchula lugyu sungbodela ya tuji che shuya yin.
Yes.
Okay.
Geshe-la, thank you.